welcome home, to my home at least. Obviously, you've seen my backyard many times. Putting practice, unless you haven't. I don't know, maybe you haven't. If not, also, you may have seen it in my previous disc dyeing adventure when I did a proxy. Unfortunately, I lost my Paprika, my Peka Peka, by RPM. I want to say RPM disc. We already had our moment of silence and all back at NAD Park. But today it is time to replace the Peka Peka. The Peka Peka was actually a 9.5 -3.1, something like that. But it was also beat up, so it was definitely flying more understable than a -3. And it had kind of earned a spot in my bag, not so much as something I could throw really straight with a little bit of turnover. It earned the spot as something that would really lift up and flip over. Because it was pretty beat up. So today we are going to do a dye job on the replacement. This is a Discmania Function. It's a 8.6 -4.1 fairway driver. And we're going to do a custom dye job on this. We have a fun sticker to put on just like last time. This is I hope that might not come through on the video. I don't know. It is a squirrel throwing a disc. My daughter Freya picked it out. I thought it was cute too. So we're going to put that on the disc, and hopefully it comes out as cool as the last one did. I'm going to do a similar process here as the last one. I'm still going to do a dye job. I'm still going to do rings. I'm still going to draw in it. I'm going to do a couple minor differences though. The big one is I'm only going to use 3 colors. Instead of using 5, as much as I love the 5 colors on that, I don't want it to look the same. I want it to be different. So I'm only going to use 3 colors. I'm going to use 3 colors that I already used. I'm going to do a red center, orange middle, and yellow outside. I love putting orange and yellow on the outside of the disc because it really stands out a little more, easier to find your disc. So I really like having the orange and the yellows on the outside. But I'm going to do an red to orange to yellow because of the just minor differences on the color wheel. They should blend nicely. I'm not going to try to blend the colors, but then what I'm going to do is instead of doing the loops to make that kind of flower-ish pattern, I'm going to do more of a starburst pattern. So I'm going to draw outward from the center in multiple directions. In my head, it's going to look cool. We'll see if it does. The other big difference is we have a disc that has a stamp. Pretty ordinary stamp. It's nothing super fancy, but it's still a stamp, and I don't want that on there. So now we're going to take a stamp off. Hence the bowl of water here. This is one of those things that it's almost, I wish I had like an outdoor sink to do this in, because this would be so much easier in an outdoor sink. Because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do a hefty dose of acetone, followed by washing it, and probably acetone it again and wash it again. I really do not like using the acetone in the house. This stuff is extremely strong smelling. It actually says right on the directions for use in a well ventilated area. I like to use it outside. This stuff is also extremely flammable. Don't have it anywhere near an open flame. There's a lot of warnings using acetone. In fact, really, they talk about how you shouldn't use your bare hands. So oh well for that. So you can actually see probably in the video, you can see that stamp is coming right off. This stamp is coming off a lot nicer than some stamps I've done in the past. A lot of times they get really, they blur. They kind of, I'm wiping it across the surface. So this one's actually coming off pretty nice. What's kind of fun is when you pull a stamp off like this. This is the case with my Jet, especially. You can usually see where the hot stamp was because of the way the hot stamp is done. The plastic actually has a different finish there. So even after you completely pull the stamp off, there's no dye at all. And then you Yeah, see, that came off far better than I thought it would. Even after there's no dye at all, kind of get the light right, and I can still read Discmania, Evolution, Function, Fairway Driver, 8-6, -4, 1. So you can actually still read all that. Now, the problem with this is, especially after I get that dye off, kind of leaves a little bit of streaks. So that's where this is coming in. So we're going to try to clean this off as best we can. Well, see, I can see just a very slight hint of the purple dye on that. Now, you probably won't be able to see that once we actually put other colored dyes on it, but I don't really want to risk it. So, wipe that down, get it as cleaned off as I can. Dry it off. Now, the one nice thing is there ain't no oils that are going to survive on the surface of this thing after acetone's gone across it. So, I don't really need to go soap and water this again. Woo! I got squeaky though. Looks pretty good. I can still see some streaks from the acetone. So let's do the acetone one more time, and then I'm gonna wash it one more time. Do a little bit lighter on the acetone this time. I pretty well got the last one drenched, so. I think that's about as good as we're gonna get it. When you are working on this, have a garbage can. I don't. It's going on the ground. But that's okay. I live in the woods. I'll pick it up when I'm done. No big deal. All right. So we are done with that. Just dump it in the yard. Okay. Now, before I even start doing anything else, I guess this is the next step. Put a bed of lotion down and try to let this get this a little more even, hopefully. The dots on that last one were really cool, but the hope is that this will be even smoother. I'll tell you, for the first like 2 rounds I played with that disc, I could smell the cocoa butter. Oh, that's not enough. I guess still need more. Stuff's like $3.99 a bottle. It's not that bad. Yeah, that looks more like it. All right, that's gonna be good enough. It is shocking how many air bubbles I managed to get come up to the top just doing that. Quite a few. We'll see if that was enough to prevent the bubbles in it this time. All right, so we're gonna start with. Nope, I'm not gonna make the same mistake this time. I'm gonna do those 3 colors. You start on the outside. Start on the outside. I'm gonna try to start in the middle. And keep the lid on. Get the lotion to the top. Again, let's try to avoid the past mistakes. It really does look like mustard. Not thick enough. Yeah, I don't think I want to go too much more than that. Make sure I got it all the way to the edges. That looks good enough for me. Used about half of what I had left of the yellow, maybe even a little more. I'll have to be making more yellow unless I just do something thin. Good enough for the orange. And now what looks like purple, but it actually comes out red. Nope. Don't do that. All right. We're going to actually let that sit for a minute. Let everything just kind of settle down. Hopefully it'll just kind of fill in all the gaps on it. While we're waiting for that, though, let's go ahead and put our squirrel on the disc. I actually just put one of these stickers from 360 Disc Golf, one that just simply says 360 Disc Golf, on my truck. Because I like to rep the local disc golf, well, courses too, but in this case, the local disc golf store. Yeah, there you can probably see it a little better. All right, let's see. I actually kind of want to line it up with the original stamp so that if I am trying to look at that reflection to see the stamp, it still kind of lines up as vertical. Oh man, this is hard to tell. Okay, so there's a good reference point right there. I think that's about as good as I'm going to get it. The theory with these stacks is that the vinyl is stronger sticky than the masking tape does. And therefore, as long as you got it good and stuck down, it shouldn't peel up when you pull this backing off. This is all in theory because I just put a couple stickers on the back of my truck, and that was not the case with them in all cases. This one looks like it's going really well though. Make sure it's good and down everywhere. Yeah, I think that dial worked just fine. There's some very minor gaps still. But as soon as I push the disc down into that, it should spread it and should be no big deal. Okay, now last step here. Let's try to draw this pattern that I want. So I'm going to start. I just grabbed literally just a stick off the ground. Kind of rounded off the end, got it cleaned up as best I could. And that's going to be my drawing stick. When I used the spoon last time, the back of the spoon, the problem is that it's wide in one direction and thin in another. And so if I wasn't rotating as I moved, it meant the depth, the width of the drawing device changed. So I was going to use just like a disposable straw. Turns out I have, 60 reusable straws in the house. I don't know. It wouldn't surprise me if that wasn't an exaggeration. But no disposable ones. So then it occurred to me I live in the woods. I have sticks everywhere. So I just did this, carved the end off, and cleaned it up as best I could. So we're just going to start in the center and draw outward. Center, draw outward. Center, draw outward. Oh, this is interesting. I'm going to leave a little bit of this orange in the center. By doing that. Okay, and then I thought I kind of want, where did I put those paper towels? I actually kind of like that, but I don't want it to go on every case. And then what I was thinking is I might just go like that. Nope, wrong spot. Like that. I think I need more than that, though. All right. So that's our design. Now, go ahead and let's drop this bad boy right down in there. And we hurry up and wait. Okay, that looks pretty up and down. I gotta stand up for this. That looks pretty centered. Kind of push it down into there. And there she is. We'll see you tomorrow. All right, guys, it is time to do a little reveal on this. I got the water going a little bit warm already. It has now been more than 24 hours, so it's time to do a reveal on this. I don't know if you can see in the picture, but it's interesting how the yellow is actually dried up and almost like cracking around the outside here. Actually, all the dyes that are exposed to the air are kind of dried up and cracking. Kind of interesting. But time to pull this off and reveal it and see how it looks. Okay. The red's a little bit bolder than I was hoping for. I was hoping a little bit lighter. I guess I'm going to have to keep that in mind going forward. It is interesting how it's really not scented though. I like the little starburst yellow in the middle. I do like how I got the little teeth of orange coming out like I was trying to do. Now let's see how this squirrel turned out. Oh, I think the lines turned out really good. Yeah, that's pretty fun. That's pretty fun. To be 100% honest with the colors, with not having the blue and the green in it, I'm not as in love with this one as I was the putter. I think the proxy turned out incredible. This one looks pretty good. Also, it does, to be honest, it does bother me a little bit that red isn't 100% centered. It looks good though. The only right here and right here is there really any blurring on the lines. Everything else has turned out really good. Oh, I guess there's a little blurring right there, but it's in that yellow, so it's hard to see that one. Otherwise, the lines turned out pretty dang crisp. So, yeah, pretty happy with how that turned out. I'm just gonna go ahead and soap it up and get this sticker off here. I was just using regular Dawn. My wife recently picked up this power wash. This stuff's really nice. And there's the finished product. I think it turned out pretty good. Alright guys, yeah, really happy with how this turned out. Again, I think I like how the proxy turned out even better. But it is fun to play with new designs and see where they go. So I may need to kind of figure out a process for kind of measuring where the circles need to be when I'm doing the rings like I did. Or maybe I don't care. Maybe I start going a little more abstract and get something a little more crazy and just go a little wacko on it. I might have to try that sometime. Regardless, there's the throwing squirrel. Thank you very much for coming along, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your week.